Hi, I'm Paul Roberts. This is Conscious Counseling 101, and this is a general, very generic response because I couldn't get a lot of information from the person. This is what things look like when somebody actually tries to help and they're not a scammer and they're just a genuine person. People don't find that very often, and so when I ask other questions like how should I phrase or how should I put my input to you, what's your age, are you married, do you have any religious points of view? The reason why I do that is because I can be more helpful. But I know that a lot of people think, I'm not going to put much confidence in this, even if I ask generic questions. So I'm just going to give you this generic answer to what you've asked. And maybe it'll help in some ways. I don't know. Okay, so the person wants to know they got a bad family issues and whatnot, and they're worried about their inheritance and all that. And there's fights and squabbles and things like that. So I won't go into detail. Everything will be just generic. I've had a few people ask about things like this. And because I don't know how to go and approach you, I'm just going to approach you in the way that I would if it was me, okay? If you can't be happy with what you have, you may live another week, you may live another 50 years. I don't even know your age. I don't know anything about you. If you can't be happy with what you have, I don't believe you'll be happy with what you get, is basically the moral of the story here. Let's say you lose out and everybody just steps all over you and you don't get anything. What a shame for those people. They have to go through life knowing that they've done that, but you don't. Yeah, you don't have the money. And in this world, it seems like money is everything. It seems like if you don't have those means, you're going to lose. You're going to be worse off. And what is most important is coming out on the winning end, or at least getting your share and having whatever monies or whatever thing you think you're trying to get. There's probably no way to resolve your relationships with your family members. But in your mind, you could do the right thing and not be a part of the problem. That would be what I would recommend. I would go through life without whatever it is that you think that you're entitled to. And I would go through life knowing that you did the right thing and you did not care that you had to make this example. To my way of thinking, the example that you would make by being not one of the money grabbers is that you're the higher person. It's not that you love them more. It's not that you are a fool. It's that they're an example of people that really need an example from someone, or they wouldn't be the way they are. You're the last chance to give that example. Now, in my point of view, that example that you could give is more important than anything you could possibly get. That's the value of things and people in the world. High-end, high conscious value. And sometimes it costs a lifetime of inheritance. In your particular case, since you've given me nothing else to go on, I'm going to say the positive way of looking at things is not to worry about whether you'll get yours, but worry about what is yours. What is yours is the virtue that you decide whether or not to have, the way you approach others. Now, that said, if you can find a way to be a peacemaker, if you can find a way to compromise, if you can find a way to work with everybody without throwing out the baby with the bathwater and just walking out the door and saying, have yours, I want to be the bigger person. If you can find a way to bring and coalesce everybody together, then by all means do so. But don't do another thing out of your need and your desire to have something if it means pushing others down, because you're going to make the world less, and your world consequently will be less once you've done so. So if you can't use the right path to go after these things, this inheritance that you think you have an entitlement to because you're one of the siblings, if you can't find a way to go about it in the best way, the highest choice possible, my answer to you would be whatever you get won't be worth it, because you won't have any dignity, you won't have any self-value, and all you'll have is money. There's lots of people in the world that have money, and I don't see a whole lot of high-quality people in the world that have money or don't have money. I find a lot of losers. I find a lot of people that are just about, what can I get? What can I do for me? And this, from what little I know, is probably what's going on in your family. Everybody in that family is, what can I get? What can I do for me? And everybody shoves down everybody else and fights with everybody else. Sounds like to me in your letter. So the best thing you can do is not be like your enemy. The best thing you can do is to rise above. Even if you go through life and you don't have whatever it is you could have gotten, you would be better off. I know it's hard to believe. But that's how little value money and what it can buy actually gives. Sure, it can give life, it can extend your life, it can make your life pleasurable, it can make your life healthy, it can do a whole bunch of things like that. Money can do a lot of things, but it can't do everything. It can't give you peace. It can't give you virtue and value in your life. So, having said what I've said here, I'm going to conclude this video. I usually make them about 15 minutes for the first one. Go forth only doing good. If you should work things out and gain, then the gain will be worthwhile what you've gained. If you should go forth only doing good over a long period of time, it may take a long period of time. It may take a lot to prove to others that you're not like what you used to be or like them. It may take a lot. It may be impossible for them to value these virtues. You may never break through to them. You may have to spend all your money on lawyers and whatnot. And that's your choice. But if you do, I would still do it without fighting and being a jerk about things. I would still do it I'm not going to try to stomp you down and get what I can get at your expense, at your cost. I would use this as a life lesson thing for them and for you to be a wholesome individual to the highest extent you can. And don't go after something because you can get it and need to have it. Be as equitable as you can with every step, as loving as you can, even to those that seemingly don't deserve your love. Because what you'll take with you, if you make a gain from the inheritance or not, is you will take with you a higher life consciousness, a higher life worth. And that life worth may give you dividends far greater than that money inheritance ever would. Just something to think about for today. I'm Paul Roberts. This is Conscious Counseling 101. Be glad to talk to you more if you respond to me.